Thursday to the Ungovernables, the Captain Screw, the LFA family, McGrory Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. Happy Thursday to everybody. It's a good day, I'd say. It's a funny day. We have a little bit of fun. Liberals are chugging Tylenol. So I think in light of that, and by the way, I reposted, because, about a month and a half ago, I made a bit about Donald Trump endorsing oxygen. I think we played that here. We're endorsing air. We love big, beautiful air. It's tremendous. Breathe in, breathe out. It's a tremendous thing. We love O2. Some people call it air. I call it O2. But some people call it air. I posted that again yesterday, kind of reposted it, said, in light of the liberals who are chugging Tylenol, Donald Trump has now, endorsed. I find this bit of Trump endorsing oxygen relevant. So I put that up, and that's actually doing better than the first time I posted the video, which is good. We were ahead of the curve on that one. Closing in on 400,000 views on the repost. So we have that. We're going to talk about that. Some more words of wisdom. From Donald Trump. Don't use your. I'm thinking of doing that now. That kind of bit. Like a words of wisdom bit, or like a do's and do nots. Like, do not use your toaster in the bathtub, right? Something like that. What do you think? You think that's a good idea? If I did one of those, we just new results from a study found that using your toaster in your bathtub is incredibly dangerous. You can get shocked. I call it electrocuted. Something along those lines like that. You think that would be funny? I think that might go over well. I think that might go over really well these days. The toaster in the bathtub thing. So I think we'll try that. Or, don't sit on a porcupine. It's a bad idea. If you sit on a porcupine, it's going to hurt. It's not going to feel very good. I promise you that. Don't microwave a spoon. Stuff like that. Funny. I think so too.
Sorry, I'm here. I didn't realize what time it was, and then I heard Sean go, good morning from the other room, and I was like, ooh.
Got to keep your eye on the clock.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But I'm here now. Never fear. Brennan.
But that's okay, because the good morning is like your cue that it is in fact 9 o'clock Central Time, or 9:02 usually after the countdown. So we got that. We're going to talk about a little bit of fun just to start off on that one, because let's face it, the last couple of weeks have been kind of dark and heavy. But I think as we continue to move on, we'll have a little more fun. So I think I'm going to start in with those the do's and do nots. Don't juggle chainsaws, right? Things like that. We'll have don't play catch with knives, Anyway, we'll roll with that. Maybe we'll go a little flashback to don't eat Tide Pods. Remember when you used to do that? Don't do that. Remember when you thought they were candy? The electrical socket on the wall, the outlet, that is not a candy bar. Don't lick it, right? Don't try and taste it. Anyway, so we'll have some fun with that probably as the day goes on. Maybe we'll do one of those like every other day, just public service announcements of what not to do. It'll be pretty interesting and hopefully well received, because apparently this one has been very well received. The oxygen one from a month and a half ago. We were ahead of the curve, right? Anyway, Comey and Letitia James. Letitia, did somebody say? There she is. This Sasquatch is going to be indicted.
The Squatch.
There you go. Right there. There she is. That is Sasquatch. That's the Squatch. Don't feed her. Okay? Do not feed the Sasquatch. Whatever you do, do not feed the Sasquatch. And James Comey. They are apparently expecting indictments, so we're going to get to the latest on that. Comey being the biggest name. Now, well, I'm not going to get to it. I'm not going to get to it until we do not play leapfrog with a unicorn. I like that. Redneck 1776. That's really funny. I also thought of maybe an interesting idea for my ex-subscribers. What I might do. What do you think about this? Right? What do you think about this?
Lay it on
what
me.
if I make a post that only ex-subscribers can reply to, and it's an Ask Me Anything, And then on Saturday morning, I'll find my favorite couple of responses and reply to them in a subscriber-only video. And I'll just post it on Saturday. This way we can have we'll have a little fun. So if you're subscribed on X, I'm going to start that next week. I'll post a video Saturday explaining that as well. All right, we have... Just to have a little bit of fun over there. We've got the attack on the ICE facility yesterday in Dallas, Texas. That was another example of radical left-wing terrorism. Keith Olbermann a couple days ago went off on Scott Jennings. That was not nice. J.D. Vance with some comments about the left-wing terrorist yesterday. We could jump back into that article from The Atlantic from a couple of days ago. About the radical left as well. Before we do all that, I got to get to a word from our good friends over at OFP Farms. That is OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com, Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com. OFP Farms is thrilled to announce that it is their birthday month, and that is ending at the end of the month. That's not a joke. It's not a joke, man. Not a joke. Their birthday month is in September, not October. This promotion is not going on into October. They have successfully shipped over 16,000 packages to date, sharing their skin and pain relief magic across this beautiful country. As America's trusted source for soap, lotion, pain relief, and lip balm, they have received countless enthusiastic reviews that attest to the excellence of their products. And to celebrate for a limited time, again, 5 more days, they're offering 25% off of your entire purchase throughout September as a heartfelt thank you for your support over the years. You can discover the remarkable products from OFP Farms, a pioneer in natural ingredients celebrated for their skin-nurturing benefits of tallow and fresh goat milk. Whether you're in search of gentle skincare options or thoughtful gifts, these products seamlessly blend expert craftsmanship with strong values to elevate your daily routine. Take this opportunity to pick up premium products that support health and resonate with ethical choices for your entire family. Guys, look at this. This is the best stuff I've ever used. I've been using it since what? Early 2023. Goat Kisses Lip Balm. I used to use chapstick. I was like, it's the only thing that works. It's not the only thing that works. This is the only stuff that works. Chapstick is disgusting. It is gross. We call it crapstick. This is Goat Kisses Lip Balm. And by the way, it's owned by Pfizer. Ditch it. Go to OFP Farms, OFPFarms.com. Use the promo code Sean, SHAWN, and you can get right now 25%, not 15%, what it's usually, 25% off of your entire purchase during the birthday month for OFP Farms, including the Revolution soap, which I'm going to give a nice, beautiful sniff to right now. This smells like the gunpowder at Lexington and Concord. Only kidding, because sometimes gunpowder smells like rotten eggs. You wouldn't want your soap to smell like rotten eggs. This smells like a revolution. This smells like a new nation being born, the U.S. of A. Check it out, OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN, for 25% off. That is OFPFarms.com, promo code SHAWN, OFPFarms.com, promo code Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey November. All right. For X subs, I think that's a good idea. I don't know. I didn't see it in the chat, but we're gonna try that out. So we'll try that out next week. We'll start that Monday. We'll leave the question open until Saturday. Pick my favorite responses, screenshot and reply to them, etc. I think that'll be fun. It'll be a good way to get everyone to kind of know each other. We'll have a little fun on X. All right. Before we roll into some of the good stuff with Comey, I do have one more message from our friends over at Patriot Mobile. It's patriotmobile.com/FARASH, patriotmobile.com/Farish. Folks, I know there's many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones that are popping up all over the place. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that is Patriot Mobile. Now, for more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the major networks. Don't just take my word for it, though. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who have made the switch and are now supporting causes that they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching right now is easier than ever. You can activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. You can keep your number. You can keep your phone, or you can even upgrade to a new big, beautiful phone, right? You look at it. Patriot Mobile's U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Farish, Farash, spell it right. Use the promo code Farish for a free month of service after you switch to Patriot Mobile. That is patriotmobile.com/FARASH or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today. Again, promo code FARASH for a free month of service. Okay. Are we excited? Can I just ask the chat?
Yeah.
Not knowing, or maybe you do know. Are you excited about the James Comey indictment? Potential indictment.
Yeah.
Are you excited about it? All right. To me, this is something to be optimistic about. I think it's something to be optimistic about. So if you're excited about the James Comey indictment, put your favorite emoji in the chat, whether it's Mo, whether it's fire, whether it's a USA flag. If you are excited about the potential James Comey indictment, let me know in the live chat. I'll put it on the screen in a second. There it is. Look at that. Lock them up. Got there. Look at that. Don't put your hands in a running fan. That's another one of those. Yes. Very good, Wanda. I love the do not stick your... only happened after Trump fired the prosecutor and hired Lindsay Halligan. Yes. Jeremy is right about that. Don't want to get my hopes up. Yes. I agree. It's a good first step. Okay. Cautiously optimistic from Winky Winky. Yes. Absolutely. Not excited till I see Comey in handcuffs. That's probably not going to happen. But the indictment is the next best thing. Big Letitia is more exciting to me than Comey. Okay, I get it. Look, but a lot of the general feeling here is, yeah, we're pretty excited about the idea, right? We've been calling for arrests and prosecutions, and then Donald Trump sent that message to Pam Bondi. Now you're seeing, you're hearing the rumors. So this is MSNBC. Talking about the potential, I think this is MSNBC, talking about the potential James Comey indictment that's on the horizon.
Its resources familiar tell MSNBC former FBI Director James Comey is expected to be indicted in the coming days. The full extent of the charges being prepared against Comey is unclear. Joining us now, MSNBC Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian and MSNBC Senior Investigative Correspondent Carol Lenig. Chris O'Leary, Ashley Parker, still with us. Carol, help us understand the reporting.
So, Katie, we have some sources who say that for several weeks now, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Virginia, and actually in offices that are potentially much further south than Alexandria, have been eyeing ways to indict Comey, and they are getting very much closer. The statute of limits, rephrase, they are arguing that Comey, there is evidence to suggest Comey lied to Congress in his testimony on the Hill in September of 2020. And for viewers out in the audience who may not be legally as nerdy as me and Ken, I'll just say that there's a statute of limitations to charge people with the crime of lying to Congress or perjury, and that's 5 years. The 5-year statute runs this month.
So what exactly is he accused of lying about, Ken?
Well, there was
Fusion Ken Delanian, who carries water for the deep state. That's when he's saying things, and panicking, that something good for us is on the horizon. Now, I wanted to play that. Because I wanted you to hear kind of what the speculation was about the indictment. Am I excited that James Comey is potentially getting indicted? Yes. Am I excited that it's just for lying to Congress? No. I really feel like there's more. Now, maybe they're just starting with lying to Congress and there'll be superseding indictments or additional charges that are brought later on. But I mean, I don't just want to throw this guy in jail just for lying to Congress. I get it. It's like you finally get Comey in trouble. You finally get it indicted, and now all of a sudden, like, you're not happy. No, I am happy. I get it. I get it. Nobody, look, where's my, yeah. Nobody's above the law. I get it. I understand all of that. I totally get it. And what they did to Navarro and Bannon and the contempt of Congress and, perjury and Papadopoulos and I Roger Stone, trust me, I understand. But to me, I don't even want to say it, but I have to. I feel like this is like bottom of the barrel stuff. Okay, but let's focus on the good right now. Let's focus on the good. We'll go to the left because we like to read how the left is reporting on it, and we'll see what they're saying, okay? CNBC, okay, obviously not on the right. They're not as bad as MSNBC, but they're leftists, okay? Trump in a social media post Saturday called Comey guilty as hell as he raged about the lack of charges against the former FBI leader. MSNBC reporter Ken Delaney in a post on X wrote yesterday, the full extent of the charges being prepared against Comey is unclear. Okay. Quote, but the sources believe that at least one, so a part of it, at least one element of the indictment, if it goes forward, will accuse him of lying to Congress during his testimony on September 30th, 2020. It's only 5 days away, about whether he authorized a leak of information. Delaney later said that two people familiar with the matter told him that prosecutors in Halligan's office presented her with a memo explaining why charges should not be brought against James Comey because there isn't enough evidence to establish probable cause a crime was committed, let alone enough to convince a jury to convict him. That's Delaney quoting anonymous sources. What he's doing there is carrying water for the deep state as always. They're saying here that at least one element of the indictment is lying to Congress. I sure hope that's not the main element of the charges. I sure hope that's not the only thing. Now, if it is the only thing and it is proven that he lied and, all of this and he can be convicted, which is, I think is going to be very tough. Then he's held accountable for it. I heard about a Comey indictment, and my excitement level went from a 10 to a 3 when I heard it was just for perjury. And I don't like to do that. And I know that it's still, I know we do the rooster, the whole thing, like it's still against the law. I get it. But that's really it. Is that really all we have? Is lying to Congress? All right, let's go to Red State. We'll go to a little more of a truth-telling publication here, an outlet. James Comey reportedly to be indicted imminently. Former FBI Director James Comey, who the writer, this is Bob Hoge over on Red State, often refers to him as St. Jim because of his holier-than-thou sanctimonious matter, is reportedly about to find out the Department of Justice doesn't find him so angelic after all. MSNBC reported he's about to be indicted. Obviously, talking about lying to Congress, Bob Hoge goes on to say if there was a law against being really strange, Comey would be indicted for that too. The whole seashells thing and 8647, absolutely ridiculous. MSNBC reports that Comey is being investigated for lying to Congress. Big move by the DOJ, as Bob Hoge says. And again, my question to you is this big enough? And I told you how many, it was months ago, probably July, the middle of July, August, Spygate stuff coming out, etc. The charge will never be treason. I know it will never be treason. I want you to understand something. The charge will never be treason. Because meeting the threshold to successfully prosecute treason in a court of law is very difficult and very narrow. You've got to give aid and comfort to an enemy with whom the United States is at open war with. There's a lot of different... The last time a treason case was successfully prosecuted was, a World War II era case, a Japanese dual citizen, I believe, of Japan and of the United States. You see, but it is treason. Well, I mean, again, colloquially, socially, with friends, we can call it whatever we want. Legally, it does not meet the threshold for treason. Legally. And we had this discussion, it was months ago, and I don't know what episode it was. I don't believe that you're going to see a treason charge. I told you I think the biggest charge for the Russiagate conspirators was going to be conspiracy to defraud the United States. That maybe you could argue seditious conspiracy, maybe. But the seditious aspect of it has to include some sort of measure of force. So I don't think the charge that we're going to see that everyone keeps clamoring for, including Donald Trump, is going to be treason. I'm just trying to set the expectations. What I am going to say is I really hope that we get more than just lying to Congress with James Comey. Because in my opinion, that's not enough. Or are they trying to hit him with lying to Congress and force him to squeal on some other guys? I don't know. But I really hope, because to me, while nobody's above the law and they should go after him for it, this is going to be spun as some petty weaponization of government and, they're going after him on a technicality. And I get it. They did the same thing to Trump's allies. You don't have to convince me of that. I understand it. I'm just telling you the way it's going to be perceived, I think, is a loser for Trump. I think. Not that Trump's making the wrong decision or the DOJ is making the wrong decision. Unless it's something a little more important than lying to Congress, I don't think it's going to have a positive impact on the malleable middle. That doesn't mean not to do it. I'm just stream of conscious kind of telling you how I feel about it. I feel like going after James Comey solely, if it's just for lying to Congress, is kind of the cheap way to do it. But nobody's against the law. Nobody's above the law. And if he broke the law, he should be held accountable. So I understand both sides of the equation here. Letitia James is also expecting, Sasquatch, also expecting to be indicted in the coming days. And this having to do with mortgage fraud. Numerous reports have broken on Twitter saying that New York Attorney General Letitia James, Big Tish, you look at her, Big Tish. She looks like Sasquatch, right? She looks like Sasquatch. She's a big girl, right? She's a very big girl. Letitia James will be indicted for mortgage fraud in the coming days. Some reports say Comey will be indicted as well. Gateway Pundit in March of 2025, as well as LFA TV, did a lot of this on the mortgage fraud. The entire saga of Letitia James' 43 years of fraudulent mortgage filings, culminating in the Monday article, which was a mock prosecution memorandum. Letitia James' indictment. Here's the prosecution memorandum for federal and state charges. They wrote a mock prosecution memorandum. Letitia James, MSNBC reported the coming indictments. Letitia James expecting to be indicted alongside James Comey in the coming days. The same office is expected to charge Letitia James, this again in Virginia, with mortgage fraud. Now, Ken Delaney and Trump exhorting his attorney general to charge those people as soon as possible. Delaney also reported on Wednesday that James Comey is expected to be indicted as well. Think about this. Letitia James, the attorney general of New York, on a mortgage filing in Virginia, claimed that her home in Virginia, I believe this is what it was her primary residence to get a better rate in Virginia. Can't do that. You can't do that. If you're the attorney general in New York, you can't say that your primary residence is in a place outside of New York. How could you faithfully serve as the attorney general of New York State if that's the case? That's number one. Number two, the number of dwellings in the property, right, from 4 to 5. It's not like going from 3 to 4. It's a totally different distinction, because when you go from 4 to 5, it takes on an entirely new classification. Harder to get a good rate that way. The whole married to her father, the husband, the father was listed as the spouse. I mean, these are things that if you and I did this, and let's say it was an honest mistake. Oops, I wrote the wrong thing in the wrong place. We would still have to pay some sort of fine for admitting that we made the mistake. We would still have some sort of accountability. So, you have to go after these people for it, or else you're setting the precedent that it's okay. It's just not, to me, it's not like the Letitia James, we kind of had a feeling it was going to be the mortgage fraud indictments, which again, I'm totally fine with. But to me, it's not the big fish. It's not the big splash that I thought we were going to get. Now, I'm not saying this is the end all be all. But what I am saying is I do hope there's a little bit more to these cases, specifically Comey, than just lying to Congress, okay? If Letitia James, if it's just mortgage fraud, fine, whatever. But I really hope the Comey indictment is more than just lying to Congress. All right. We'll take a quick break early because the second segment, we got a lot to do. We're going to go over the radical left-wing violent rhetoric that caused yesterday's shooting at an ICE facility. There are people who are trying to say that ICE was not the target yesterday. Okay. ICE is not the target yesterday. Then why did the shooter have anti-ICE written on the shell casing if ICE was not the target yesterday? Well, because he killed detainees. So just because he had bad aim, it meant that ICE is not the target? I mean, we've got to be able to think a little deeper than that, even if you're on the left. J.D. Vance kept saying that ICE was the target, but if ICE was the target, how come it was the detainees who died? Because A, this was an unmarked van. B, the van had tinted windows. C, it was raining. The guy had no idea who he was going to hit in that van, but he had anti-ICE written on the bullet casings, on the shell casings. It didn't say, I love ICE, F the detainees. So to any of these leftists out there, and we're going to get a little bit more in depth in this in just a second, like the Krasensteins, David Frum, the jackasses over at Patriot Takes, your MSNBC people, Senator Van Hollen, the illegals deserve their due process. Well, one of your deranged lunatic supporters just robbed 2 detainees of their due process, didn't he? Because he killed them. He was trying to kill other people, ICE agents, but he killed the 2 detainees. What about their due process? Anybody going to talk about that? Of course not. They'll never talk about it when it's one of their own. All right, we will get to all that and more in just a second. I've also got the Kamala book tour, which is going to be it's going to be awesome.
You also have to honk Mo because Bad Moon is about to absolutely lose
Okay,
his
what
mind.
now here's the thing.
Okay.
Because I know that we're starting with a new floor. Okay? When we're dealing with Mo.
Right.
Okay? We're starting with a brand new floor. I think we started with 500 today.
Yeah, we started with quite a few.
Okay. So I'm not going to reward less participation.
Oh, this is not going to get people.
We used to go from 300 to 700. That was 400 likes. Okay. We would go from 300 to 700. Right. If we're now going to go from 500 to 700, we're only rewarding 200 likes.
Okay.
So I think the new threshold for Mo is going to be 800. Okay.
We can do that.
I'm going to bump it up by 100. We're not going to go all the way. We're going to bump it up by 100. We're at 735 right now on Rumble. Rumble.com/LFA TV. That is the Cool Kids table. That is home base. That is headquarters. So, and that is a graduation. Okay. Like we started at 700. We were hitting that consistently. We're going to move it to 800.
Bad Moon says Sean is acting more like a Democrat every day.
No. We're moving it to 800. We're going to make you work hard. Okay. We reward hard work, not easy work. So we're at 735. No, now we're at 752. If we can hit 800, you guys get Mo, and that'll be the new level every day because we're doing really well. So now it's time to incentivize doing even better. Okay. 1,000 is still Clover. 900 will be MAGA Mo. Okay. So we've upped it. We've upped it by 100, except Clover is still 1,000. All right. Before we get to all that, let's get to word from our friends over at Silent. SLNT.com/SHAWN for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. What is Silent? Silent is an amazing company. They produce signal blocking technology because your phone, whether you like it or not, is a tracking device. Between government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals, they're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint. And they don't ask. They just go on and take it. That's why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals, cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. No signal means no tracking, no remote access, and no breadcrumbs. This is the same technology used by special operations teams worldwide. used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now it is available to you to protect your family, to protect your freedom, and to secure your digital footprint. Drop your phone in a silent Faraday sleeve, and it is off the grid, completely silent, invisible to the outside world. From their backpacks to sleeves to crossbody, Silent's patented technology gives you control of your privacy. Just visit slnt.com/SHAWN, silent.com/Sean to save 15% and get free shipping on qualifying orders. That is Silent, SLNT, Sierra Lima November Tango.com/Sean, SHAWN, Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey November, for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay one step ahead. Go to Silent, SLNT.com/Sean, and silence the chaos today. Silence the chaos today. All right.
We're just 5 away now from
We're 5 away.
Yep.
All right. So we're 5 away from the new. See how easy that was? Look at how easy that was. By the time we're done with this message from goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, we will have Mo. He will be out there to greet you as long as we get those 5 more thumbs up, those 5 more likes over here on rumble.com/LFA TV. As long as we get that over the course of this next message. This is goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Jeremy Harrell, the delivery man for this message. Enjoy and take a look.
Hey everybody, Jeremy Harrell here. Look, I want to talk to you a little bit about gold and silver. When I was a kid, I always wondered what Fort Knox must look like. And when I was a kid, I always envisioned that when you would walk into Fort Knox, you would see just gold everywhere, literally raining gold, kind of like what you see behind me right now. Unfortunately, as a grown-up, I don't have that kind of imagination anymore, and I don't even have that much trust that Fort Knox has the 5,000 tons of gold that we're supposed to have there. Meaning that decades ago, we went off the gold standard in this country, which took the value of our dollar down to just mere pennies. And since our federal government doesn't want to go back to a gold standard currency, then it's time to us to take matters into our own hands. Have you ever thought about buying gold and silver? Have you ever thought about taking portions of your IRA or your 401k or your nest egg or your savings and putting it into gold and silver, either all or a portion of it? Have you ever wanted to purchase silver like this in bullion or premium? I know I do. And I know I wanted to take matters back into my own hands, which is why I have worked with Golden Crest Metals to do that. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA is going to be your go-to, absolutely transparent and trusted partner. Now, you can go to that website or you can call 888-308-4202. And what the good thing about this is they're going to guide you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to guide you. They're going to give you all the answers to your questions. And there's going to be no hidden fees. It's completely transparent. No hidden fees, no pressure, no surprise markups whatsoever. Clients get to see everything before they purchase. They've even agreed to lower the minimum investment to the LFA audience in order to make sure that everybody has access to this. Free IRA storage, free insured shipping, and a full range of precious metals from gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. And if it's easier for you to just maybe click a QR code, well, guess what? We've got that available for you too. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Click this QR code on your screen and it'll take you right there. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA. Again, GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA, or call 888-308-4202 today to reach these guys. They're going to be a great partner for you, just as they have been for me, and we absolutely recommend here at LFA TV, GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA.
That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, and you did it. We're over 800. Here is Mo. He creeped onto the screen. Here you go. So Bad Moon can stop having a conniption.
Bad Moon can keep his ball here.
All right.
And just stay.
Here it is. He's here. Now, we're closing in on MAGA Mo, right? So keep doing that, right? That's what it is. Yeah. Keep doing that. And, you know, the more thumbs up we get, the more rewards that the audience will get.
The more the merrier.
Okay?
The more the mo.
All right, that's it. We earn our keep here, right? We earn our honks.
Yeah.
You want your hedgehog honked? You got to earn it. All right. Okay, let's get into this ICE thing yesterday. Okay, again, this guy who targeted ICE yesterday, who wrote anti-ICE on the bullets, or on at least on one of the bullets, right? Anti-ICE on one of the bullets. What is going on here? Okay, I don't know what's happening in that one. That's, again, way too many of those. All right, ICE an ICE facility in Dallas, I almost said Denver, came under attack yesterday from a shooter that was once again on a rooftop. And I think it is prudent to point out that the Democrats' messaging about ICE has been incendiary. They know what they're doing. They call ICE the modern day Gestapo. They make it out to be, an enforcement arm of the Nazi Party. Remember, you had LaMonica McIver, the wild hog, doing this. This is the same woman who declared over, I believe it was ICE and Doge, that we are at war. Remember that? The whole Kilmar Abrego Garcia saga. The Democrats have demonized ICE over and over and over and over again. Remember when ICE showed up, or was actually CBP showed up outside of Newsom's little press conference, right? I mean, over and over and over and over again, they have demonized ICE. Yesterday, somebody tried to take a shot at ICE officers. And the talking point is, well, it was an attack on ICE officers. Why were the detainees the one who got shot? They were in a van with tinted windows. The detainees were not shot on purpose. They were in a van with deeply tinted windows. It's not like you had, 3 guys in uniforms and 3 guys in handcuffs, and the shooter just picked off the guys in handcuffs. That's not what went on yesterday. He shot at an ICE vehicle, probably didn't know who was in it, and was sending the message that he was anti-ICE. The Department of Homeland Security is now weighing in. And DHS is now weighing in saying that this rhetoric has got to stop. Quote, this shooting must serve as a wake-up call to the far left that their rhetoric about ICE has consequences, according to Kristi Noem. The Department of Homeland Security has accused Democrat lawmakers of fueling a significant increase in violent attacks against U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE agents, due to their vile rhetoric described by the federal agency as dangerous and dehumanizing. This includes consistently referring to ICE agents as Nazis, kidnappers, and fascists. The strong rebuke comes in the wake of a deadly sniper attack on a Dallas ICE field office on Wednesday morning, which left 1 migrant detainee dead. Actually, it's 2. I believe it was 2 dead and 1 wounded. What about their due process, right? I mean, all we heard about was due process for the illegals, due process for the illegals, due process for the illegals, right? Do these guys get due process? The ones who were killed? No, not anymore. Why? Because somebody who was radicalized by the far left to believe that ICE was the Gestapo, ICE agents are Nazis, ICE agents are kidnapping people, ICE agents are disappearing people. That person believed it and decided he was going to take matters into his own hands and shoot at them. It's disgusting. The problem is everybody knows, the left knows what they are doing with how they describe ICE and, the issues surrounding immigration. They know exactly what they're doing. It's falling flat. Well, it's not falling flat on their supporters, but it's falling flat when it comes to the public. J.D. Vance had a lot to say yesterday in the wake of this shooting. J.D. Vance, who, again, are we pleased with J.D. Vance as our vice president? I'm very pleased with J.D. Vance as his vice president. He also called somebody a dipshit on social media yesterday in this whole thing, which was hilarious. Vance said Wednesday the alleged sniper who opened fire on an immigration and customs enforcement facility in Dallas, Texas, reportedly killing 1 and injuring 2. Again, I thought that 2 detainees were killed. Maybe that changed. Hopefully it did. I hope less people are dead, to be honest. He rebuked Democrat leaders for their demonizing rhetoric towards ICE employees, as well as those who simply disagree with Democrats. Vance spoke about the shooting during a speech near Charlotte. You know what? We could play that. I don't have the clip, but I have the audio. We could play that. Yeah, well, why don't we do that? We'll play Vance. We'll play his remarks. I don't have the video, but I have the audio.
In Dallas,
Listen.
Texas, an ICE facility, an Immigrations and Customs Enforcement facility, was opened fire upon by a violent left-wing extremist, a person who wrote anti-ICE messaging on their bullets. And there's some evidence that we have that's not yet public, but we know this person was politically motivated. They were politically motivated to go after law enforcement. They were politically motivated to go after people who are enforcing our border. And I think that is the most disgusting thing. The very people who keep us safe ought to be honored and protected and praised by Democrats and Republicans alike. It is time to stop the rhetorical assault on law enforcement. Because here's what happens. Because here's what happens when Democrats like Gavin Newsom did say that these people are part of an authoritarian government. When the left-wing media lies about what they're doing, when they lie about who they're arresting, when they lie about the actual job of law enforcement, what they're doing is encouraging crazy people to go and commit violence. You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
I thought that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from J.D. Vance. The point is, the left knows exactly what they're doing. When they referred to Donald Trump as Hitler for over a decade, and a Nazi, and a tyrant, and a threat to democracy, and a fascist, and all these nasty names, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew the ideas, the seeds of those ideas they were planting in the heads of many, many unstable people. Oh, he's a Nazi? Oh, he's Hitler? Oh, we have a chance to stop Hitler from taking over the United States. Let's take it. Let's take it. They know exactly what they're doing when they called Elon Musk a Nazi at the beginning of the first term here, the second term here in 2025, when his Tesla dealerships then became targets of vandalism, Molotov cocktails, violent riots. They knew exactly what they were doing when they kept referring to Charlie Kirk as a fascist and a racist and a white supremacist and a Nazi. They know exactly what they're doing when they refer to ICE as the Gestapo. It's not just to get people to pay attention to their point of view. Those days are over. You know, there's internet culture. They do this, right? Internet culture. Everything's a bombshell. Have you noticed that? Everything's a bombshell these days. It's been going on for years. But everything's a bombshell. Every bit of news is breaking, right? You know what I'm saying? Everything just in. You know, these people. And nothing against them. I get it. It's the way it's been. Print media has done the same thing for a long time. They have to put something very catchy that gets your attention, right, on the headline so that you continue to read. It's not new. And there's not really anything wrong, I think, with doing that. The Democrats, though, with their rhetoric, they started doing that. They were like, you know, this guy running for president 2016, that guy's a racist. Listen to the way he talks about immigrants. Okay. And it sounded bad. That carried a lot of weight. They're not doing that just to get people to listen to them anymore. They're doing that to encourage violence. That's what's happening, and they know it. And they can't pretend they don't know it because it keeps happening. Radical leftists keep committing acts of violence, whether it was in Minneapolis at that the Catholic school, right? Whether it's the lunatic who shot Charlie Kirk, whether it's the lunatic who shot up the ABC affiliates office in Sacramento, California, who said that Trump and Bongino and Patel and Bondi and all these people, they were going to be quote unquote next. Whether it's this guy who shot up the ICE facility. These are all leftists, folks. This all took place over the course of a month. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Don't let them get away with it. That's all I ask. Do not let them get away with it. I don't think they're getting away with it. And I'm going to show you why. Harry Enton, CNN, the caffeinated guy. He's like, oh, Democrats, what are you doing? You're like 13 points down the polls. Whoa! Look what this guy gave us a very good. This is Mr. Caffeine, Harry N. This guy gave us a very interesting snapshot about the 2026 midterm race. What is the one issue that I have said for a while that's the easiest issue to talk to an independent voter about?
Crime.
Crime.
Oh my gosh, I did it right.
It is crime.
Wow.
Why is it crime?
Because it affects everyone.
Right. Because do you know anybody, right, left, middle, north, south, east, west, black, brown, white, black, whatever? Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody who wants to live in an unsafe community? I don't. I don't know anyone who wants to live in an unsafe community. Watch this clip and take a look at the metric that Republicans are winning by the largest margin. I'm telling you, and I have been saying this ever since the DC cleanup started, this is the issue to carry into 2026. And I think this poll and this clip by Harry Enton and these polls, these results prove that.
What do you think?
Yeah, what are we seeing? Donald Trump being underwater, Democrats saying, oh, this guarantees us we're going to fly high in the midterms. Let me tell you, this guarantees you nothing, because at this particular point, the Democrats are the New Orleans Saints of political parties. What are we talking about? Trust the Dems or GOP more on the economy? Who leads on the economy? Republicans by 7. Immigration, Republicans by 13. How about crime? A big issue for Donald Trump and the Republicans. Look at that. Lead by 22 points. So the bottom line is this. At this particular point, the ball may be on the ground, but the Democrats have not picked up the ball and running with it. If anything, at this particular point, it's the Republicans who are running with the ball on the top issues, the economy, immigration, and crime.
Give some context on this. Compare this when Republicans last took the House.
Yeah, let's compare it back to 2022. I think this kind of gives away the game right here. Okay, the GOP is more trusted than the Dems on the economy. It was 12 points in 2022. Slight decline in that lead, but still 7 points. How about immigration? It was Republicans by 3 back in 2022. Look at this. The Republican lead's actually gone up by 10 points. What are you doing, Democrats? My goodness gracious. And on crime, the Republicans were up by 13, and now they're up by 22. The lead again expanding by nearly double digits. So whatever Democrats are doing, it ain't working, Kate. It ain't working. Republicans have the lead on all 3 issues.
What's the reason that you are finding so far that's driving this?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's all about the center of the electorate, right? You win with independents, you win overall. And what do we see right here among independents? Republicans still have a point lead on the economy. They got a 10-point lead on immigration. They got a 21-point lead on crime. The bottom line is when you look at these numbers, Democrats should call their offices because at this particular point, even if Republicans or even if the public doesn't like what Donald Trump is doing, they ain't necessarily liking what Democrats are doing. And it ain't just a referendum on one party. You actually have to go out and beat that party. At this particular point, Democrats are not able to beat Republicans. They still
and again, this isn't as Donald Trump came into office. These are numbers from this month.
These are numbers from September of 2025. We still find that the Republicans leading on all 3 of these issues. And, of course, this economy will be the key. If Democrats are going to win, they're going to have to likely win on the economy. At this particular point among independents, you see that 1-point lead for Republicans. And overall, at least according to the Washington Post, they hold a 7-point lead on the economy overall as well.
Did you see, according to who? The Washington Post. The Washington Post found Republicans leading on the issue of crime by 22 points. Nobody wants to live in an unsafe community. Nobody. I don't know anyone who is getting ready to buy a house or move into a brand new, apartment anywhere going, let me find an unsafe community and intentionally move there. Some people may unintentionally move into an unsafe community because they don't know any better, but most people will look up, see if the community is safe, if it's got, the amenities that they need, but nobody wants to move into an area that is unsafe. Nobody. Crime is the issue. Crime is the number one issue. It is the easiest issue to talk to independents about. Hey, Democrats have this cashless bail policy. What is that? Oh, if you get booked for, petty larceny, you're stealing from a store, shoplifting, You know, a little assault on the street, they book you and then they let you back out. Well, that doesn't make much sense. Yeah, you don't like that, right? What if that person comes for you next? I don't want that. Of course you don't want that. Republicans want to take that away. Republicans want to hold those criminals accountable. Want to hold them in custody so they can't commit more crimes. That'll make your community safer, right? Yeah, of course. Okay, boom. And now you've got a foundation. It's so easy. It's so easy. All right. I want to get to more Kamala Harris ratings and how that ties into Jimmy Kimmel in just a second. Before we do that, My Patriot Supply. It's mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. National Preparedness Month here in September. It's the perfect time to ask yourself some questions like, how much food do you have on hand for emergencies? How would you get clean water if the tap went dry tomorrow? What would you do if a storm knocked out the power for an entire week? If you're anything like me, there is some room for improvement on all of this. Luckily, our friends at My Patriot Supply are making disaster preparedness easier and more affordable than ever by giving you over $1,500 worth of emergency food and preparedness gear absolutely free. They just launched their Preparedness Month Mega Kit, and it includes a full year of emergency food, a water filtration system that can purify almost any water source, a solar backup generator, and a whole lot more. Here's the best part. If you go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned, you can get 90 preparedness essentials totaling over $1,500 absolutely free. Just go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned for full details. That is mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. It is National Preparedness Month, but National Preparedness Month ends in just 5 days. If a major disaster struck tomorrow, are you going to be ready? Go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Check out the 90 items that are totaling over $1,500 that could be yours for free, but only for this month. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned for full details. Next up, a word from our friends at Armra Colostrum. It's tryarmra.com/LFA TV, TRYARMRA.com/LFA TV. You know, we're always looking for ways to strengthen my immunity, my gut health, improve my fitness and metabolism, improve my skin and my hair radiance. That is what Armra Colostrum can do for you and more. Check it out. It is the first nutrition we receive in life, colostrum is, but we stop receiving it after we're babies. It's time to start getting back acquainted with colostrum again. It can help reactivate your hair growth, stimulating stem cells and collagen production, increasing elasticity for plumper skin, guarding against UV damage and chemicals and pollutants from the environment. It'll also help clear blemishes for a nice glowy complexion. It can fortify your gut health and ignite your metabolism and fuel your fitness, performance, and recovery. Check it out at tryarmra.com/LFA TV. That is TRYARMRA.com/LFA TV for 15% off of your first order. Tryarmra.com/LFA TV. That is TRYARMRA.com/LFA TV. All right.
We have to do Magama.
All right, are we at it?
We're at 903.
All right, 903. Look, this is the big hedgehog now. We got a little squeak. This is a big one.
Carol the Cowgirl.
Carol the Cowgirl gave us Magamo. All right.
Betty loves Magamo.
Betty attacks Magamo. Betty loves Magamo. All right. Yesterday I said Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's ratings, they may go up in the short term, but they're going to crash in the long term. He's just like Kamala Harris. Right? There was all that fake energy around Kamala Harris in the campaign. Oh, she's a new way forward, a fresh face. But after a certain amount of time, people said, oh, yeah, she's still Kamala Harris. Same thing's going to happen to Jimmy Kimmel. They're going to realize, oh, yeah, he's still Jimmy Kimmel. He's still not funny. You know, this is still not entertaining, and they're going to turn it off. And we have the evidence that actually is happening to Kamala Harris right now amid this book tour. Watch this from Harry Anton on CNN.
I would just say that if you want a messenger to go against Donald Trump, you can do far better as Democrats than Kamala Harris. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at her net favorable ratings nationwide. You know, back in October of 2024, she was at -5 points. Not exactly great, but pretty close to the zero mark, right? Pretty close to even. But now, down under she goes. She's at -13 points. That's an 8-point drop. Since the general election among the overall electorate, she is not well liked at this particular point. The American people, they don't want this. They don't want her. And get this, she's 37 points underwater with independents. If you can't win independents, you can't win the election. And the bottom line is, with those in the center of the electorate, those who are the most up for grabs, she is way, way, way underwater. She is definitely swimming with the fishes.
Kamala Harris is still Kamala Harris, in short. Everyone who used to not like her again, doesn't like her. Okay? They gave her a little bit of a pass. They gave her a little grace during the election. She's all we got. They're like, all right, Dennis Green, they are who we thought. The Bears are who we thought they were, right? Kamala Harris is who we thought she was. She's not smart. She's a terrible campaigner. She is condescending in front of any audience that she, stands up in front of and speaks to. She's just not likable. Okay? And the same will be applied to Jimmy Kimmel. Because, let's face it, Kamala hasn't changed. Kimmel hasn't changed. So, amid all this, this whole, I'll say it, psyop of Jimmy Kimmel, record ratings. First of all, a lot of the people that were watching, I think, were conservatives looking for the apology and seeing what he would say. Number two, this is a protest. We'll show Donald Trump by watching Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, you're not going to continue watching him. Just like you're not going to continue supporting Kamala Harris because both people are unlikable and bad at their jobs. All right. On that note, I think that'll do it for today. I want you guys and gals to head over to the LFA TV store. It's lfatv.us, lfatv.us. Jeremy Harrell is up next. Jeremy Harrell is up next here on LFA TV, rumble.com/LFA TV. And you will see what's on the LFA TV store, by the way. I think he would very much appreciate if indeed you went over to the LFA TV store and you click on that Visit the Store tab on the right-hand side. See it? You can pick out any of this awesome LFA TV merch that's right there on the LFA TV website. So check it out, lfatv.us, lfatv.us, lfatv.us. Jeremy Harrell is coming up next here, rumble.com/LFA TV. That is home base. That is the cool kids table. That is where it all goes down, okay? That is where it all goes down, rumble.com/LFA TV. So get over to Rumble and make sure that you are following, okay? Make sure that you are following this page and that you hit the thumbs up button. We got Jeremy coming up next. As your favorite president would say, do not use your toaster in the bathtub. Do not lick your electrical outlets. And your favorite president would also say, we will never give up, we will never give in, and we will never, ever surrender. And if all else fails, well, we'll just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll be on Carl Higbee this afternoon around 6:30 Eastern time. He's got that new time on Newsmax. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We're back tomorrow. Same time, same place, rumble.com/LFA TV, and I'll be on the radio tomorrow morning, 7:45 to 9:45 on 1210 WPHT. Good night, everybody. Bang gavel, and thank you for your attention this morning.